Hey, come on in. It's freezing outside. You haven't been waiting out very long, have you? Okay, good. It's definitely been getting a lot colder lately. Come in. Please have a seat. I know. It's been so cold that my hands, they're freezing even after I wash my hands, so I've been wearing gloves more often. Alright. How have you been? Are you cold at all? Here, I know you're bundled up, but you were shivering even at the door, so I have something for you. I have this huge plushy scarf for you. I got it at the thrift store. I saw it and I was instantly in love with it. It's incredibly thick. It will warm you up regardless of the weather. And the material is very pleasant. It's pretty soft, pretty comfortable, pretty plush. You can even turn it into a pillow. It's so thick. Here, let me wrap you up in it, okay? I've just been adjusting to summer being over. It's like at some point in the summertime, I get incredibly tired of the heat, and I'm very ready for fall and winter time. But at some point, when it gets cold enough, I get sick of the cold and I want it to be warm. I haven't quite reached that point yet, but the cold can be very tiring. It really saps my energy, which is why I always prepare myself, especially around this time of year, so I can stay warm and cozy no matter how cold it gets. For example, to stay cozy, I'm gonna go ahead and take my gloves off because my hands have warmed up quite a bit now. One thing that I love in the fall are candles, the fall or the winter time. I really enjoy the cozy light that it emits. One of my favorite things to do at nighttime is to light a candle by my bed and then write in my journal or do something that doesn't involve technology. It's very, very pleasant, very relaxing with the gentle light of the candle. I highly recommend you do something like that sometime, whether you're just reading in bed or maybe taking a bath by candlelight. I guarantee it will be very relaxing. This candle is pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie. And it definitely smells like pumpkin pie. Here. It smells really nice. Do you want to smell? Yeah, go ahead. It smells great, right? I bought this in the summertime. It was around the end of the summertime, which I guess makes sense for stores. They're always decorating for the future, even if it's way too early. Like in the summer, around August or like halfway through July, they're already decorating for fall, which I love to see because fall is my favorite season, but I want to enjoy summertime. It's like when it's fall time or around October and they're already decorating for Christmas. I love Christmas. I love to see the decorations, but I want to enjoy the spooky season, you know? So, I got this, and again, very fitting for fall. It really adds to the cozy feeling that I love to capture when it's fall time. Of course, I don't think anything beats real pumpkin pie, but this is definitely a close second because as much as I love pumpkin pie, I don't want to get sick of it. But I don't think I would ever get sick of the smell. So how about we go ahead, how about we go ahead and we light it up. I'll go ahead and put that aside. Give it a few minutes and it will start to fill the room with very pleasant and cozy aroma. Actually, I think it's starting to rain. I feel like it's been raining non-stop every day for the last month, which makes sense given where we are. It rains all the time when it gets cold. It's always super cold, but it's always just not cold enough to snow, so it rains instead. But I do really come to appreciate the rain, even in the fall, when it's already really cold. Like in the summertime, I really appreciate the rain because it comes after a heat wave, so it really cools the air down. But during the fall, it's very relaxing to look outside when it's raining on a gloomy day. I think it's very enjoyable to curl up with a good book while it's raining outside, and sometimes looking up and seeing the rain fall. Even the sound of rain is very pleasant. Sometimes it helps me fall asleep. The pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter of raindrops, 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 drops. Speaking of books, I want to tell you about one that I read lately that I have really enjoyed. I think it's a very cozy book. It's called At Home in France by Anne Berry. It's a pretty old book. It was published in 1996. And these stories that the author has, I believe they're from the 70s or the 80s. It's about the author Anne. She lives in New York City, and one day she discovers a house in the French countryside that she decides to get. Although, for her, because of her life, she only visits for 1 month in a year, 4 weeks. But she always visits during the fall So a lot of her story, she talks about France during that time of year in the countryside. So she talks about going to markets and bread and cheese and the warm and pleasant dinners and interactions that she has with the neighbors. But of course she also talks about the difficulties of the house because it's very old. It's incredibly cozy and it makes me want to visit there someday. Or I'll be reading about her trip to a farmer's market and it'll really inspire me to go to a farmer's market myself and pick up some fresh produce. So I'd recommend this book. It can be a bit slow at times. Like, I really like when she talks about the cuisine and the friendly interactions with her neighbors, but I don't care at all for the house renovations. If you're interested, I can lend you this book and you can see for yourself. Yeah? Okay, here you go. I went to the market recently and I picked up this pumpkin. I feel like it's an absolute given to get a pumpkin during the fall season. And around this time of year, I see pumpkins everywhere to be bought in stores and markets, anywhere. And me, I always like to get a pumpkin to make pumpkin pie. I prefer to home make the pumpkin puree. I think it's like the process is enjoyable, and also I think the puree goes a long way compared to getting just a can. Like this pumpkin will make way more puree than I can get from one can at the store. I definitely enjoy pumpkin things. Although, for me, I usually get cravings for pumpkin desserts around this time of year, and then I just indulge completely on pumpkin. So, I guess that's good. It means that I never get tired of pumpkin, or by the time I am a bit tired, it's out of season, or the holiday season has passed, so I'm not really in the mood for it anymore. So, how are you feeling now? Have you warmed up? Does the scarf help? Okay, good. I told you, this is a great scarf, right? I know, you can't take it. I'll lend the book, but you can't take my scarf. That's for me. Well, I gotta stay warm if I have to go to work tomorrow. It's gonna be so cold. Or whatever. Let's say we go watch a movie, maybe? Yeah, do you want to go look at what I have? I have some really good recommendations. Yeah? Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'll go make some popcorn, and while that's popping, why don't I show you what I have? Yeah, okay, let's go.